That's what my reaction is. For 20 years, it just seems as though I'm always going to have this reaction. The time you think something's going to change, it doesn't. It's always the same old thing. You got Scumbucket and Slimeface, and their smiling faces. Always like this. And guess what? It's the same two nincompoops that always end up in the big game. And it seems as though it's always the same two nincompoops, or nunchucks as I'd like to call them, that always seem to win. No matter what, no matter how many all 31 other teams in the NFL do, they just can't seem to do anything. And the thing is, it just seems Mr. Entitlement and Mr. thinks he can be a nice, good-looking guy with a hoodie on just seem to always come out on top. Yeah, Brady's 41 years old, but he still seems to get the job done. Or maybe he has some help, if you know what I mean. And also, Mr. Belichick, who always has to wear that hoodie. Hey, could you wear something else? Of course, somebody thinks that maybe I ought to wear something else. No, probably when another shade of orange comes, if that ever happens for Syracuse. But oh well. But you know what I mean? Every year, it's the same thing. And you know what? Even if this Super Bowl was the lowest scoring in history, the result's always the same. 13-3 by the Patriots over the Rams. And I do have one thing to say to fellow FingerLakes1.com person, Harold the Big Dog Weber. Him and a few others said, "Oh, you're lying. You're not going to watch the Super Bowl." Well, guess what, Big Dog? Guess what, everybody else? I followed up on my threat, if you can call it a threat, and I didn't watch the Super Bowl, as I didn't want to see his smiling face get it again, which he did, and I didn't want to see Rob the Polish Sausage Gronkowski get it again, which he did, and I hope he retires. Thing is, it'd be smart, because apparently he's having problems with his neck. But I digress. Like I said, it's the same thing year after year. Who else is tired of this? Who wants something different? How many AFC teams want something different? Well, you know what? It seems as though he wants to play another 3-4 years. But you know what? Brady, sooner or later, age catches up with everybody. And Belichick, he can't coach forever. But something different's gotta happen. Because guess what? Excuse me while I go throw up. Not now. Maybe after the show. But like I said, same old thing year after year. Who's tired of this? Now I'm gonna go from talking about this to something different. One football league ends its season. But you know what? This Sunday, a new one starts. Everybody, drum roll please. It's the battle of good versus evil. Sorry, the Patriots aren't in this one, so we can't defeat the evil. But this football league promises good versus evil. It is the Alliance of American Football. That's it. Apparently Dick Ebersol, who nearly 20 years ago was part of the created team with Vince McMahon to create that ill-fated XFL, apparently this time he's hired guys who know how to do football to help form this new league, which apparently looks like it's going to be a feeder league to the NFL. Kind of a minor league, if you know what I mean. It's 8 teams over a 10-week season. And there's a lot of rules changes. Apparently, no kickoffs. And apparently, when a touchdown is scored, the 2-point conversion is always going to be attempted. I think there will be kickers for field goals. Yes, there will be punters. But who's to think because of the reduced viability of the kicker in this new league that it may be one and the same, doing the field goal kicking and the punting. Yeah, there is some subtle rules changes, and they want to have a viable football league. But it seems as though whenever there's a spring football league, it always crashes with a thud. The old USFL, the XFL, which apparently McMahon wants to start back up next year, maybe be more viable. And I mean others, the UFL, the WLAF, the World League of American Football, which morphed into NFL Europe. I mean, can they make this league viable? It'll be worth checking out. But hopefully it's no battle of good versus evil, if you know what I mean. Well, going from talking about the Alliance of American Football to the Orange. A couple of good victories this past week in preparation for the stretch run. Yes, good road wins against Boston College and against Pittsburgh. And this week we're back in the Dome and we start getting towards the meat of the schedule. It'll be Florida State tonight and Boston College on Saturday. And then North Carolina State and others leading up to the big stretch run with Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, and others. And I tell you what, it's going to be interesting coming up here because, I mean, this is going to really determine whether the Orange can get to the NCAA tournament or whether it's going to be the NIT, because they've been some very inconsistent people this year. And I will tell you what, I mean, if there's ever a time to put it together, now's the time for Tyus Battle O'Shea Brissett at all. It's a crunch time, Orange. Let's do it. And last but not least on this one where I got to talk about the Patriots again, I'm going to talk about local basketball. It's the stretch run for both Miners and Waterloo and all the high schools. And you know what? I'm not going to say shame on the Blue Devils because the varsity teams couldn't beat Waterloo. You know what? I'm going to say congrats because Waterloo's finally starting to play some pretty good basketball with the new queen of Waterloo athletics, Crystal Kent. And also great coaching of the boys team by Mark. Hey, don't call me Salvatore Pittifer. Of course, Salvatore is part of his name. Who knew? Of course, you look at two of his kids, you wonder why he's Italian, 'cause they're redheads. Although they're good redheads. But enough about Mark Pittifer's kids. You know what? It's going to be an interesting Section 5 tournament coming up because Waterloo finally looks like they're going to have home games. Miners, they're in a rebuilding year. But just wait till next year and a couple of years down the road. Miners will be back to a powerful team. You just watch. Well, we got to have another off-season of thinking about the Patriots again. How can Buffalo stop being the pansy of the Patriots? We'll find out. Come on, Brady Belichick. Retire. Enough is enough. I'm Ken Haas, and let me go throw up.